Okay. Hey. Hey, everybody. Happy Monday. Oh, my God. Is it really the end of the world? Some people try to convince me of that before. Sometimes, like, I've made fun of people for saying, oh, like it's the end. But are things accelerating? People are calling well, Trump's, I'll tell you what's going on with the Trump thing. Trump supporters are gathering. Or they're not gathering because they're worried about getting set up by feds. But I wonder what they're thinking. Do you think Trump is going to be arrested tomorrow? Because it is kind of like a rumor, and I don't even know if it's for real or if it's just to get people wound up. Thanks, John. It says nice thumbnail. Yeah, hey, I used the AI for that. I have something maybe I can play for you that the AI did that Jaron told me about. It can impersonate. Remember, I've told you guys it can impersonate me, right? It's gotten halfway there already. So I haven't even used the tool, but I have a recording from Jaron who used it to do his voice, and it sounds just like him. It does sound just like him. So do not trust audio recordings forever forward. The AI can do that. And then eventually everything else too. In fact, one story is that a viral photo of Trump getting arrested spread around. Let me see if I can let me find that. I'll show you. It was created by AI. And it's funny because I had the same idea. I tried to get the AI, and maybe it's better since then, to give me a picture of Hunter Biden being led away in handcuffs for my thumbnail for one episode of my show, because people were saying something's going to happen to Hunter. So I was like, oh, I need a picture of Hunter Biden being led away in handcuffs, and it just didn't look right. But this one is. Oh shoot! Hey, sorry, Rockfin. Rewind to watch the beginning. Sorry, I didn't go live right away. I'm sorry. My fault. It's just now I go live, and then I haven't been going live with the intro anymore because people like to see action immediately. So I'll show you that picture of Donald Trump, Trump arrested photo. So I'll show you that, and then I'll talk to you guys about Bitcoin. I did a poll. It's hard for me to know for sure what to talk about because my interests are different than my regular audience on a lot of different things. One of them is Bitcoin. So I'm going to talk about it all the time. But I'm wearing my hoodie today, and I'm going to talk about it today. And the thumbnail I used was created by AI, and it's the image of a phoenix, a Bitcoin phoenix, rising from the ashes of burning banks. So the banks are burning, and the Bitcoin phoenix is rising from the ashes. So like anything, there's risk. Don't get involved in things if you don't understand the risk. That's why I would have told all the rich people who put their money in the bank, like, oh, if you didn't understand, it's not my fault. And you shouldn't say, like, I'm responsible for your risk. So if you decide to buy cryptocurrency, there are risks, but are the risks asymmetric? In other words, is there a much, much greater return than you can possibly lose? Well, it's possible. One guy bet that, where is that? There it is. Got it. Pretty good photo. I'll show you. This was generated by AI. And yeah, it's pretty good. You see if sometimes there are like too many hands and stuff. So is it even going to happen? I don't know. People are worried about being set up for protests. And there's a protest like right now in New York City, right now, which is mostly feds so far. No, mostly press, apparently. More press than protesters. That's what somebody's reporting, at least. But that was the image there. Oh, there's a Hunter. Somebody did do a Hunter Biden. That's good. But they didn't do a deep fake. They just like took a real picture and then added Hunter's face. That's not like an AI deep fake. Something a little different. But yeah, that's funny. AI is funny. It can impersonate people. It can definitely impersonate people. I'll play you a clip of that to prove it to you. And then I'll show you some other stuff that's going on the internet. Okay. Cool with you? So, and as usual, I will ask for coffees, and I will tell you about a sale, a killer sale right now on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency themed merchandise. And I will tell you about Bitcoin today, whether you want to hear about it or not. And then I'll maybe taper it, but just so it wasn't like I didn't say anything. In case, I don't want to be the guy that didn't tell you. So we'll go over all that stuff on the show. Thanks for joining me, guys. Mimsy Cat. Yeah, the Nazis. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Nazis. Yes, Nazis showed up at a women's speaking thing. So now they're saying, I know. I can maybe cover that too. And maybe more on this Lift the Veil show. Okay, cue musical intro. Boy, that's brilliant. I do think some things in the world are real. Like you guys. You guys are real. Most of you. Most of my listeners, I think, are not just in my head. I think I have the metrics to prove it. You've taken a leap of faith today. What is that sound? And I apologize if you take offense. I'm a little offended myself. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future. What it is. Joining you live from sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman. And I bring you the news, the real news. Damn right. Damn right I do. I'll show you the scene from the Trump protest. And then what are your thoughts? I was thinking I used to go to protests. And I wouldn't be I wasn't going to go to January 6th because that seemed like it could end up not good. I wasn't going to go to January 6th, but I would go to one of these protests. I don't know what people are so worried about, actually. Maybe I'm crazy, but people are like, oh, don't go. It's a setup. A setup for what? Like, how can they set you up if you don't do anything? That's what I'm wondering. If you're just going to protest and you're not going to storm the Capitol or anything, then what are they going to, if they do something to you then, and you're just peacefully protesting, like exercising your First Amendment right, and they use force on you, then they're the ones that look bad. That's what Black people did during civil rights. Non-violently, marched places, got beaten up, and then people were like, oh, that's terrible. So actually, if you're just going to peacefully protest, I don't see how can it be. I don't know how it could be a setup. Except, I guess you could get arrested, but that would be inappropriate, right? Because we're allowed to protest. I don't know. Maybe I'm off base on this one. Pirate X Pirate says, you deserve whatever happens to you if you go to any Trump protest. You don't even have to do anything these days to get effed. Okay, that's fair. I'm just wondering, like, what are they gonna do? I guess, I mean, you could end up on a list. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them for that. You definitely could end up on a list, and they'll use facial recognition and stuff. If you're gonna go, wear a mask so they can't identify you, and dress like if you're gonna go, dress like Antifa, and then nothing bad will happen to you, and they won't know who you are, and they'll assume you're with them. They'll assume. But, yeah, I don't know. There are some people there. I see some Make America Great hats, but it says, this is from Ben Collins, He says, I'm at the pro-Trump protest put on by the New York Young Republicans Club. Not a joke. There are more reporters here than Trump supporters. This is supposed to be the big one. It's just a bunch of cameras taking a picture of a guy who was putting on a rat suit next to a guitar with the words "Hang Fauci" on it. That's funny. I have some Fauci video too. People are sharing. Hang Fauci. Chris is also here and had a song written for him. The ratio of press to actual reporters at this pro-Trump rally is probably 5-1, maybe more than that. So he says it's totally dead. That's what Ben Collins says. But people are wound up about it. Holy shit. Like Jack Posobiec literally called for bank runs, which I thought was crazy because they'll call you a terrorist for talking about bank runs. People who actually supposedly believe in libertarian things think you should be punished if you start a bank run unnecessarily. So yeah, he was calling for that. Jack Posobiec. He was saying people should call out from work sick, but I'm not even sure. I don't even know. I'm sorry about this, but actually, it's not clear. It's a rumor, apparently, that he's being arrested, but there's still some stuff going on. And Ron DeSantis talked about it today. I'll show you that. Let's see. I have this guy. I have one of the Krasensteins who's reporting about there's something going on with the grand jury right now. Still, I don't know the story. I mean, the crime was a long time ago. And so anyway, my opinion about it, if people care, like I don't like Trump, and I'd rather he wasn't the nominee, and I'd rather he wasn't president. But it is crazy going after him for paying off a porn star. And actually, it seems like it's just making him more popular. So it's just boneheaded. I mean, however you look at it, seems like it's making Trump more popular. Seems like they could be doing it just for the news coverage. Nobody cares. Literally, nobody cares that Trump paid off a porn star. Nobody that's going to vote for him, which they could care about. I mean, and which I think is like fair game to make fun of him about, which is what DeSantis did. But he did it with what? He did it with campaign funds? Okay. Like, how about like the real crimes going on? What about Hunter Biden and the Biden crime family? It just seems ridiculous. So this guy, Krasenstein, who I know is like a Democrat operative, he's reporting the man who Trump's team sent to speak to the grand jury in Manhattan, Robert Costello, just gave an interview to the media, and he is pissed off because the grand jury only had questions about 6 emails, and he claims they didn't ask about what he wanted them to ask him. It sounds as if Trump's plan didn't work, and an indictment will likely be coming. So, don't know. They say indictment coming. I'll play you what Ron DeSantis said, which is getting mixed reviews. Some very positive, some very negative. So if one notable influencer who's been supportive of Ron DeSantis is kind of no longer supportive of Ron DeSantis. So I'll play you that. MT Cube says, America isn't half as bad as the media makes it out to be. Once you get out of the blue coastal zones and big cities, it's actually pretty normal. Yeah, my impression walking around is like, it's not crazy. I don't have crazy stuff happen to me. I don't see crazy woke stuff. When I was employed by a woke Silicon Valley company, it wasn't like crazy woke. I didn't feel like people hated me because I was white or anything. I didn't have any, like, they didn't teach me about oppression and stuff. So it's not as bad as people make out. And like, I never even see trans people. So I don't even, like, if I didn't see about it on Twitter, I wouldn't even know they exist. I mean, once in a while. But it is different. Like real life, if your point is that real life is different than social media, then I completely agree. Real life is different. On the other hand, it's good to be aware. It's good to be woke the old way. It's good to be woke the old way, not the new way. Okay, this is so Ron DeSantis did two things. And the first thing nobody's hardly talking about, he made some kind of a speech against central bank digital currencies, which is kind of grifty or maybe brilliant. I'm not sure. It is a topic like everybody goes on and on. I don't even care about central bank digital currencies because I feel like I'm never going to use them if there's a choice, you know? Like obviously they could be bad, but cryptocurrency will probably replace the current system just because it's superior. So if they implement CBDCs, I won't be surprised. It'll probably be like more efficient for them. And then as far as all the other stuff, as long as I have a choice, as long as I can take my CBDCs and buy Bitcoin with them or something else, then I'm not worried about central bank digital currencies ruining my life. I don't think we need to necessarily fearmonger about central bank digital currencies because as long as there's a choice, it's okay. As long as there's a choice, you just use something else. You know, there are other digital currencies which exist now, which can't be controlled by the central bank, right? So, but they could take away the choice. It's possible. You want to hedge yourself against all possible risks. So anyway, this is we were talking about Donald Trump, who's maybe being indicted, and this is what DeSantis said about it today, which, like I said, is getting mixed reviews. I'll play it.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Megan from the Florida Standard. We wanted to know what your thoughts are on the rumored Trump indictment and if you have any role in it. If charges are brought on him, will you have any role in extradition to New York?
So I've seen rumors swirl. I have not seen any facts yet, and so I don't know what's going to happen. But I do know this: the Manhattan District Attorney is a Soros-funded prosecutor, and so he, like other Soros-funded prosecutors, they weaponize their office to impose a political agenda on society at the expense of the rule of law and public safety. He has downgraded over 50% of the felonies to misdemeanors. He says he doesn't want to even have jail time for the vast, vast majority of crimes. And what we've seen in Manhattan is we've seen the crime rate go up, and we've seen citizens become less safe. And so You're talking about this situation with, and look, I don't know what goes into paying hush money to a porn star to secure silence over some type of alleged affair. I can't speak to that.
That was a dig.
But what I can speak to is that if you have a prosecutor who is ignoring crimes happening every single day in his jurisdiction, and he chooses to go back many, many years ago to try to use something about porn star hush money payments, that's an example of pursuing a political agenda and weaponizing the office. And I think that that's fundamentally wrong. I also think it's important to point out when you're talking about these Soros-funded prosecutors, yes, they may do a high-profile politicized prosecution, and that's bad, but the real victims are ordinary New Yorkers, ordinary Americans in all these different jurisdictions, that they get victimized every day because of the reckless political agenda that these Soros DAs bring to their job. They ignore crime and they empower criminals, and that hurts people, hurts a lot of people every single day. These Soros district attorneys are a menace to society, and I'm just glad that I'm the only governor in the country that's actually removed one from office during my tenure. And in terms of we are not involved in this, won't be involved in this. I have no interest in getting involved in some type of manufactured circus by some Soros DA, okay? He's trying to do a political spectacle. He's trying to virtue signal for his base. I've got real issues I got to deal with here in the state of Florida. We're obviously shutting down CBDC, which is important. We've got so many things pending in front of the legislature. I've got to spend my time on issues that actually matter to people. I can't spend my time worrying about things of that nature. So we're not going to be involved in it in any way. I'm fighting for Floridians, and I'm fighting back against Biden. That's what I do every single day. Yep.
So there you go. That's the response. All right. He said Soros DA, like a whole bunch. And he is fighting CBDCs. And yeah, I don't mean to say like CBDCs aren't a problem. They are bad. Are they worse than the current digital system, which is mostly digital? Yes. Yeah, definitely. Like if they control, like if you're not allowed to use it, if it's really super controlled, I mean, but hopefully there's a way, like your employer can pay you in something, I don't know. They'd have to go full authoritarian, like China, in order for you to have to use it. They'd have to say, literally, you can't buy what you want with your CBDC, which people would have a problem with, right? So they have to be careful the way they implement it. They have to get people to buy into it. They're not going to get people to buy into it if they're like, oh, yeah, and by the way, it's fully tracked, and we're going to tell you what you can spend it on. People are going to be like, well, F you, I'm not using it. So they're going to have to try to sweeten it up, But a crisis could help. And a crisis we have. So people like Jenna Ellis, who was an attorney for Trump when he was contesting the election result, says that DeSantis did a great job. So she was like a Trump supporter. And she's saying boss level and genuine governor federalist response. A number of people said that. A number of other people said that it was terrible and that he really should have said, I'm not going to allow Trump to be extradited. So, which I guess he didn't say. So I think he said, I don't know if it was his responsibility necessarily to say he can't be extradited. I'm not sure. So he didn't let me down. DeSantis didn't. I still think just about the same thing about him. And I thought it was funny that he took a dig at Trump for paying off a porn star, since that's what it's all about. So I still, but what am I going to do? I don't even want to support a politician because DeSantis has got his own issues. He's got problems and stuff. I'd prefer somebody that I could really, really support, like Ron Paul, for example. So Ron Paul can come back and I'll give him my full support. He can get my endorsement. So anyway, that's the news with the Trump indictment. If you want to support the show, okay. If you want to support the show, super important for the continuing happening of the show as often as possible. If we get coffees, then it becomes more valuable to do the show. So you can support the show by dropping coffees at buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. Now let me ask, I did a poll the other day. All right, we'll talk about crypto and then we'll talk about some other stuff. You guys want to look at charts? Everybody loves charts. So buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. Oh, yeah. And maybe I'll tell you about the t-shirts after I tell you about how great Bitcoin is. We have shirts too for sale at truthclothing.io with code crypto50, 50% off. I had somebody buy a bunch. One person bought a bunch. But I don't blame them. It's a good deal, especially when we're about to have hyperinflation. Buying almost anything could be theoretically better than dollars right now. What have I been doing? Exchanging dollars for other stuff. We are buying Bitcoin. I've been buying Bitcoin, taking the dollars I have and getting Bitcoin with it. And Katie is buying gold. She wants gold. I wish I had her here to explain the reasons. I can explain why Bitcoin is better than gold, but that doesn't mean the price might go. I don't know. Let me show you the chart. Oh, somebody said, oh, that's all right. I'll go back. Let me show you Bitcoin chart. It's at about 28,000. Some guy, the former CTO of Coinbase, apparently, made a bet that Bitcoin is going to $1 million in 90 days. The way he made the bet is crazy. And I can tell you like how you could profit from it. No matter what, if you took the bet. And now Tim Pool told him, oh, I'll take that bet. He bet $1 million that Bitcoin is going to be $1 million within 90 days because of hyperinflation and because the banks are going to fail. And this guy who's in banking of some sort, worked for Coinbase. Even people who are way into Bitcoin think that's crazy. I can tell you, if somebody offered you that bet, I can tell you how you win no matter what on that bet because the odds. So he's putting up $1 million that Bitcoin will be over $1 million a Bitcoin, which is like almost 40x from here. So he offered that bet. So he puts up $1 million. This is the way the bet works. This guy. This is the way the bet works. You put up 1 Bitcoin. He puts up $1 million. If Bitcoin is less than $1 million at the end of the bet, at the end of 90 days, the person who put up the Bitcoin gets to keep the $1 million and the Bitcoin. If Bitcoin's more than $1 million, then the person who made the bet, who bought the Bitcoin, loses the Bitcoin. So if you want to know about hedging risk, which is what the banks didn't do and why they're failing, you take that bet. He's offering $1 million. Basically, he's willing to pay $1 million today for a Bitcoin that currently costs $28,000. And it was $26,000 when he made the bet. So you could buy 2 Bitcoins, and you would definitely win either way. Because if Bitcoin went over $1 million, you'd still have a Bitcoin worth $1 million. So he's doing it as a publicity stunt to get people to buy Bitcoin or to help people realize how valuable Bitcoin can be if the banks fail. So, Paul, why am I'm just thinking about it a lot. Let me show you somebody talking about it that people are sharing. See if this helps you. This is some young guy talking about it, though. The case has been made for it. That's all. The case has been made for it because of the bank failures. There are concerns about Bitcoin before, there's stable coins, there's the banks that handle it. Let's see, since people are sharing this, well, do I have to play it? He says the same thing. It's pretty straightforward. The banks are screwed. Still, the banks are still screwed. And they're printing lots and lots of money. People are sharing charts. It goes like this, the banks are printing. All the central banks got together and they're printing money. And people need somewhere to store their money that's safe. Let me show you this. Here's coordinated central bank action. And people have a few choices. I'll play you what this guy says, so I don't have to give you my pitch for it. This is from the European Central Bank. So the thing is it's not just America. So American banks are screwed. Okay. I think officially it's like a slow motion train wreck. But this other bank, this First Republic Bank, was down another 40% today. And that's the bank that the big banks gave money to bail out. So if they go under, we don't know what happens next. A bunch of banks are in the same situation. A bunch of banks are in bad shape right now with what's considered really safe, good debt. They got in trouble with good, safe government-backed debt. But they also have other debt, which so far has been considered safe, which isn't going to be safe. So and the government or the Fed or whatever, they're going to do whatever it takes, probably. They've kind of indicated that. We learned that from COVID. They're probably going to do whatever it takes, which means they're going to just print a load of money, which creates inflation. And at the same time, it's not clear that your money is going to be safe in the bank. So people with money, you have to think like people with money, have choices. People with more than 250K in the bank. But even the 250K, okay, so 250,000 is insured. 250,000 per account is insured by the FDIC. Yeah. The fund only has $100 billion. The FDIC fund only has $100 billion. I say only because they're insuring $3 trillion in accounts that are under 250K with $100 billion. So the insurance account isn't adequate if there's going to be more failures, which it looks like there's going to be. They already spent 20% of the fund just on two banks. And if it's going to end, there's no way it ends at two banks without some kind of crazy intervention. So the fund that's covering the insured deposits actually just doesn't have the money to cover the insured deposits. They're not really covered. They say they're insured, but there's no money. There's actually not enough money to insure it, basically. Right. So you're saying, yeah. So they could go on and say that all the money's insured, but without actually making the money, it's not true. And they'll have to make the money if they're going to do that. And if they don't say that all the money's insured, then people predict, right, there's going to be a banking crisis that's going to continue. Well, they don't have the money to insure it. if they did insure all deposits, it would be like a government takeover of the banks. Still, they're probably not going to let anybody lose money. So probably in the end, they'll just, it's just print now, print later, whatever. They're going to print money. It's going to devalue the currency. If you want to store your money somewhere that's safe, if you want to store your money in something that, sorry, when I say safe, can't be confiscated, and nobody can make it so you can't withdraw it, because the banks could say, they could do this. They could go, yeah, your money's all there. Oh, but you can't have it. You can't have it right now. You can take out a little bit at a time, but don't worry, the money's all there. Yeah, we just can't let you access. I mean, they could do that. That's possible still. So if you are going to panic, if you are going to try to get your money out, if you are going to do something with it, it's better to be first before something like that happens. But if I say that, they'll say I'm trying to create a bank run. And then they'll say it's Russian disinformation. But they could do that, right? They don't have the money. The money doesn't exist. They've lost a bunch of money. And then there's going to be commercial mortgage-backed securities, which a bunch of banks have, which are not good debt, because there's debt that's going to be paid back, like SVB had, but the government's going to pay for it and stuff. It's going to be okay over the long run. It's just right now it's worth a little less. Then there's debt that might not get paid back, which they're not even talking about yet. Really, you're going to see it. So look for people to say CMBS, commercial mortgage-backed securities. Look for that next. So that'll be the next problem this particular time. And that's because office buildings are empty, because a lot of people are working from home, and they might get emptier if there are more layoffs. And Amazon just laid off 9,000 people today. So there's concern about financial contagion, going into a financial crisis. So all I can say is I'm thinking about Bitcoin a lot. I think it could just totally explode. If all it takes is for people to say, okay, it's a store of value. It's all it takes is the narrative to change. So far, it's been a risk asset, but now people think of it as a safe haven asset. And once people think of it that way, then it's just it could really explode. So that guy made a crazy bet on it. It is crazy. It's probably not going to happen, but if people who know Bitcoin, if people start piling into it, there are a lot of people left, and there's a ton of money that could go into it. There are $17 trillion apparently in deposits in US banks, which they're saying they want to guarantee all of it, and they can't. Well, all it would take $1 trillion of that to just say, okay, well, I'm going to store it in Bitcoin instead. And then that would make the price of Bitcoin more than double from here. So it wouldn't take much. And then if people say, oh, I don't want US treasuries because I'm worried about inflation, then it could go up even more. So, but if you don't like crypto, it's cool. But you can buy a little. It's a hedge, right? It's a hedge against hyperinflation. So you don't need much. It's just like insurance, pretty much. Insurance, just in case. So, yeah, I used to do consultations for crypto. If anybody's interested, if you want to know how to store it and buy it and stuff, I mean, it's on. You could use Coinbase or Cash App. You can get a wallet that goes on your phone, and you can hold it yourself securely. And then it doesn't matter if banks go out of business. There's nobody somewhere. There's a ledger that says you have this much Bitcoin, and you have the control over the words that give you access to spend it. And you get to spend as much as you want, whenever you want, to whomever you want. So that's my pitch for Bitcoin. I said I'd play this. No, you guys get it. I mean, hopefully you get it. If you don't get it, that's fine. I'm buying Bitcoin. I want to get more. But I'm just trying not to go crazy because I guess the price could go down too. Don't know. But the case has been made for it. And other people are saying that too. The case has been made for it as a store of value, as something that can't be counterfeited the way money can, the way central banks do. So, all right. So let's see. All right, I'll play you some more videos. That's my pitch for Bitcoin. Like, oh, and if you want to get some t-shirts or like this hoodie, I think this hoodie says Bitcoin saves on the back. Check this out. Oh yeah. See? It says Bitcoin saves on the back. So you can get any of our cryptocurrency t-shirts for 50% off. And I'll drop a link by using code crypto50 at checkout. If you go to the crypto store, the crypto shop at truthclothing.io, which looks like this. So you go to truthclothing.io, go crypto shop, and everything on this page is 50% off. Everything. So you just load up on it. And if you get more than $60 worth, it's free shipping too. And so I'm wearing that Bitcoin Saves sweatshirt. So it does, it saves, it's like to save you. It's to save you. It's an escape. It's how you escape. Or if you're worried about it, just get some gold. It's fine. Gold, silver. It's going to be great. Probably. They'll probably do great. But crypto could be like, we'll see. We'll see. Who knows? What do I know? Been wrong before. Price could go down tomorrow. Who knows? They're printing money, etc. All right, I'll show you a funny video. Or I'll show you this. Let me show you this story. You guys know about the train disaster? Remember people said stuff about the train disaster and they said it was a conspiracy theory and stuff? There's an article in the newspaper today about pro-Moscow voices tried to steer Ohio train disaster debate. They're saying that people who said the train disaster was bad were Russian linked. And they say it without any evidence or anything. They just say, oh, somebody determined, some independent group. And then when they asked the people if they were Russian, they said no. But they say anything's going to be called Russian disinformation. They're going to say it about the financial stuff too. I'm telling you, I heard people, they're like, oh, if somebody says there's something wrong with a bank and it causes a bank run and it wasn't true, then that person really needs to be held responsible. It's like terrorism, basically. They consider it that way. We have a system like fractional reserve banking. It might not work forever. Just people realized it. People realize that fractional reserve banking is unstable because people have to leave their money in it or it breaks in situations like we have today. Fractional reserve banking, banking is going to be a lot different. If you want to protect your money, buy some Bitcoin. I don't even make anything from it. Oh, I could share a link to Cash App and then I could get a bonus or something, but it's like free advice. Might save your life. All right, I'll show you this video because people are sharing it. It's just ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. I'll play it though. Here you go. How to make pasta. How to make homemade pasta. Oh my God. Okay, I'll play it.
All of our pasta inside a blender. Just break it up a little bit. Make sure it all fits in there.
You just put the spaghetti right in the blender.
Yes. You just put spaghetti, you put any kind of pasta right into your blender. We're going to turn it on. Okay, I think we are ground up enough. It looks like that.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah,
This
dump
is
this
so
out
funny.
on our table. We're making fresh pasta out of pasta. We're going to take an egg. And we're just going to crack that right in the middle. Whoop, just like that. I'm gonna mix it up. I'm just gonna start incorporating it all together. So I'm gonna go in with my hands. I'm just gonna start pressing it all together. So if your dough's a little bit too dry, you just need to add another egg on in there. Look at that perfect
Wow.
dough ball.
Look at that.
Just gonna press it down like that. It's gonna take a rolling pin. I'm gonna coat it with a little bit of my powder just so nothing sticks. Sprinkle a little bit of our pasta flour on top, and then start to roll it out. And what's so cool is that you can make any shape of pasta you want. So we are making today fettuccine and cut it in strips, just like this.
Ooh.
And you can do it however thick you want or thin that you want. There's no rules with making pasta this way. Perfect. So now we have all these beautiful strands
Wow.
of fresh pasta. Look at that.
It's
It's
fresh.
not like that. The really
It's
fine
fresh.
spaghetti.
Yeah,
anymore.
look at that.
Different.
We went from this to this.
Wow.
Okay, now I have my boiled water. I'm just gonna throw some salt in there. We're gonna gently place our pasta noodles right
Fresh.
into our boiled water.
Fresh pasta.
Just like that.
Oh,
We're
that's
gonna put all of them
amazing.
in there. I did also have some oil inside my water, which will prevent the noodles from sticking together.
Oh,
We'll
you're
let
not
those cook
supposed
up
to
for like
put
7 minutes,
oil
and then
in
while
with
that's
pasta.
doing that, let's make the sauce. So while our pasta is cooking, I'm just going to
Oh,
put
she
a
just
jar
uses
of
Newman's
sauce right over
own.
here. We don't need too much. Adding a little bit of oregano to my sauce to give it a little more flavor. Look how good it looks. I was going with fettuccine, but I think we got more like linguine at this point. But
Okay.
the freedom is yours. Yep, it looks good to go. So let's give it a try. All right, it is done. Look how good it looks. I'm just gonna top it off with a little bit of shredded
Fresh sauce.
mozzarella cheese.
Wow.
Just like that. It smells so
And it's
delicious.
cheese from a bag, right?
And let's give it a try.
She didn't even
Just
grate
some
the
back right
cheese.
here. All right, let's give it a taste.
Oh my God.
It's like the perfect consistency.
Doesn't
It's soft.
doesn't
It
look
tastes
like
like
pasta.
exactly like fresh pasta.
Share this unique recipe. She used Newman's own Newman's own pasta sauce. That's funny. Even I actually make pasta sauce. I could give you a good recipe for it. I make fresh pasta sauce. I use San Marzano peeled tomatoes in a can. And, add like garlic, and I add basil and some salt. It's good. You got to mash those tomatoes up. But it's good. It's like homemade tomato sauce. Found the recipe once. Yeah, you get the San Marzano peeled tomatoes, and then you can use like a potato masher and mash them up. And then and first, and add like olive oil and add, a quarter cup of olive oil. Get the garlic grilled up a little, tomatoes. Then you can add basil. Then you can add like chili peppers. Chili peppers are good with it. And then you could add chorizo. Chorizo is good with it. Oh my God. I just think about it. It's like, oh, so she took the noodles. She could have just cooked the noodles, right? She added egg to them, I guess. Or she could have just bought fettuccine noodles instead of making those weird creations. It didn't look like pasta. It didn't look thin enough to be pasta. But that's amazing. So show you that video. I know the coffees are rolling in right now. I know everybody appreciates the content. All right, I think I had that video about Bitcoin, but I'm not gonna play more. I could run when I ran a poll, people said they'd rather not get cryptocurrency. So, but I will have told you about it. I will have told you about it. If it goes to the moon, I will have told you. And then there are going to be different classes of people. There will be people who have Bitcoin and then people who don't. But it's going to be one of those times. We are going through interesting times. All right. People are sharing this clip. People are sharing this clip of Anthony Fauci. People say it showed up on PBS 6 days ago. But I think this was old footage. But people are sharing it again. I haven't even watched it, actually. So let me play that. I'll play it.
If you were to get infected, you could pass it on to them. So you're actually protecting your family by getting it vaccinated.
Well, I heard that it doesn't cure it and it doesn't stop you from getting it.
No.
So
On the very, very, very rare chance that you do get it, even if you're vaccinated, you don't even feel sick. It's like you don't even know you got infected. It's very, very good at protecting you.
Just the Anacostia, so get up there. Okay.
All right, see you later.
Thank you. Have a good day.
The people in America are not settled with the information that's been given to us right now. So I'm not going to be lining up taking a shot on a vaccination for something that wasn't clear in the first place. And then you all create a shot in miraculous time. It takes years to create vaccination.
Well, it used to take years.
Okay, it used to.
You know how many years were invested in this approach? About 20 years of science to get us to be able to do it.
20 years is not enough. And 9 months is definitely not enough for nobody to be taking no vaccination that you all came up with.
The only reason I'm talking to you right now, as close as we are, is that I've been vaccinated.
Right.
But if it allows thousands of people like you don't get vaccinated, you're going to let this virus continue to percolate in this country and in this world.
Something like the common flu then, right?
And not
It's
like
much
the
more
common flu.
serious than the flu.
Well, the flu kills a lot of people annually too.
You know how many people died of the flu the last year? I mean, not this year, virtually none, but the previous year, about 20 to 30,000. You know how many people have died from COVID-19 in the United States? 600,000 Americans.
Well, the number that you all giving that died, that's once again, that's you all's number.
You gonna pass?
Yeah, definitely. Because when you start talking about paying people to get vaccinated, when you start talking about incentivizing things to get people vaccinated, it's something else going on with that. Something else going on.
It is something going on. With
something else.
You're right, but I'm glad millions of people like me and most everybody here didn't get an incentive. You know what their incentive was? Protecting their health and protecting the city. But I won't keep you anymore.
It's okay, because my incentive, y'all campaign is about fear. It's about inciting fear in people. You all attack people with fear. That's what this pandemic is.
There you go. Don't tell me people don't know what's going on. Yeah, Pirate X Pirate lives in DC. They're in Anacostia, maybe. Yeah, there are some rough neighborhoods. I used to live outside of Washington, DC, and go into town, and I had to drive through. People would be like, "Oh, you don't even want to drive through Anacostia," but I drove through there on my way to RFK Stadium before, where the Redskins used to play back when they were the Redskins. And yeah, I drove through there. It's definitely, there are a lot of black people in Washington, DC, and Anacostia is like pretty much all. It had been a rough neighborhood, but Pirate X Pirate says they have a Starbucks now. They're getting gentrified. Yeah, it's hard to find places to live anymore that are cheap and ghetto. All right. That's funny. He's good. That's good. He says, that's your number, dude. All right. All right. I'll check for coffees. And then I'll take phone calls. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Cool to see you. Let's see if I got any. Thanks, James Fox. I don't know if that's from this. I don't know if these are for this show. James Fox got a coffee and someone got 2 coffees. Thank you guys for that. I appreciate it. And thanks, Vogan Filter, for the tip over on Rockfin. Thanks. You tip like every single show. I know today is the day. I put Bitcoin in the title. I realize. But I still talked about other news, right? And I won't necessarily talk about Bitcoin every day, but we'll see what happens to it. I'm definitely looking at the price. Like I wake up, I'm just waiting, but I could be wrong though. I just think, oh, the case has been made for Bitcoin. The case has been made. Like now it's legit. So I'm telling people about it. You could drop more coffees. It's true. Yeah, I stream. And you can call in if you want. 650-429-8294 if you want to call in. You can say what you're worried about or what I'm wrong about or whatever. 650-429-8294. If you want to support the show, like if you want me to do it tomorrow, then drop me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. Because I have to make money to buy crypto. And they demonetize everything I do on YouTube. So even when I just talk about crypto and stuff. Steve, someone needs to make a cryptocurrency based on Trump. Yeah, well, they did kind of. And like even Steve Bannon pushed it. Even I bought into it. Like there was FJB coin and what was the other one? Let's Go Brandon coin, LGB coin. I bought LGB coin, lost everything. There's LGB coin and FJB coin. And one of them was promoted by Steve Bannon. One of them was promoted by somebody else. They were going to sponsor a race car. I thought it would work out too. But the Trump NFTs worked out. I should have bought those. I should have known. I wonder what Trump NFTs are at. Yeah, NFTs aren't even crazy. Trump NFTs. Let's see if it takes me right to the page. Trump digital trading cards. I wonder what they're trading at. Those were a smart buy for people who got in. I was laughing at people too. 650-429-8294 if you want to call in. Yeah, I think the price is way up, especially since also the price of Ethereum is up. So 0.61 ETH, 0.61 ETH, 0.61 ETH. Holy shit. That's a lot. It's like $1,000. How much were they new? They were like $100, right? Yeah, I think they were $100. They're 1,000 now. They might go up more. Trump NFTs. It's not crazy. Cryptocurrency. You can get a t-shirt. Seriously. You can do that. And you can wear it and you can promote things. I didn't even give you guys a link to the thing. Just go to put in crypto 50. You'll save 50% off everything from the crypto shop at truthclothing.io. All right, let's see. Yeah, tomorrow we'll see what we talk about. See if we're still talking about bank failures. That's the main thing that's going on. Like a reworking of our whole financial system. So I'm tweeting about it. Yeah, people aren't even that interested, but that's okay. Still talk about what's important. You might not be interested yet, but financial collapse, currency collapse. All right. We'll give a second for people to call in. If they don't, then that's fine. Okay, I got one call. Hey, you're on the air.
Hey, Nathan.
What's up?
Excuse me, I got a frog in my throat or something.
What's up?
Yeah, so that the footage of the black dude like talking to Fauci, and like really like talking about stuff that I think about all the time. It was just so fucking awesome. Excuse my language. It was awesome to watch that.
Yeah, it's good.
I mean, and it was funny as crap too. Like they all just walked off. They're like, "All right, we're done here."
Right. They're like, "Oh, so you're not going to get the shot? Okay, all right." He's like still yelling after them as they go down the street.
Yeah, I mean, like, imagine if. How long ago was that?
I don't know. The person who posted it said it just appeared on PBS recently. People are sharing it. People are sharing it today, but it could have been from before because I remember he went to the hood to promote vaccines at one point way back when. So it must have been from then because he's not working because he's retired now, right? Like he's
that's right. Yeah, that's right. So it wasn't anything recent.
Yeah, anyway, I don't think it was recent.
Yeah. like imagine if he was still going, if he tried that now. I mean, they'd probably get their gats out and blow his brains out.
Yeah, who knows, man? Who knows?
I just thought that was a classic thing right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like how you doing with you're getting good with the Bitcoin, you figured out the wrong ones to not to buy, and then or after they didn't do too good.
What's that? What have I figured out? I don't know. I haven't figured anything out. I mean, I just
Well, like
think
some crypto you said wasn't too good, and like that's for some reasons.
yeah, yeah. I mean, well, there are some that have failed and stuff, and there are some stable coins that are problematic, but I think like it's just that this banking crisis has just kind of made the case for Bitcoin really strongly. That's all. So
Yeah, totally. I wish I had that kind of faith, dude, but I can't do that.
that's fine. Doesn't matter.
But then again, I don't have faith in the dollar either. I mean, look what's going on now, dude. This is magnificently fucked.
Yep. We're gonna have a new system after it's all over. But
yeah.
So
damn. Anyway, yeah. So you get on to the next call and
okay.
callers
Thanks, Jim.
call in. Yeah,
all right.
You guys gotta call in.
All right.
All
Thanks,
right.
Jim. Appreciate it. See ya. Yeah, I have a feeling. Hey, you're on the air.
Hey, Nathan, can you explain the easiest way to buy Bitcoin privately?
Privately? Oh, there used to be something called local Bitcoins or something, but I feel like maybe they shut down. Yeah, you can buy it at ATMs. The only thing is, I think at the ATMs, you end up paying a lot more for it. You have to pay maybe a 10% fee or something, but you can do it through a Bitcoin ATM. You can buy Ethereum without doing KYC by using Apple Pay on your phone. If you can buy Ethereum on MetaMask using Apple Pay, or at least you were able to. So you might still be able to do that. Then it goes straight into a wallet, and you don't have to do KYC. But otherwise, it's difficult.
I was going to say real quick that I think it would be really. I've never been able to get someone to break this stuff down in layman's terms to get more people involved with it. I think a really good show opportunity for you would be to go over the ways that people can buy this stuff, privately and anonymously if possible, because isn't that the whole point of these cryptocurrencies?
It's not the whole point. It's not the whole point. People are buying it now, even though it's not private, but eventually, yeah, I mean, there could be value. I think something like Monero or a private cryptocurrency could end up pumping in the future too, once people realize that the Bitcoin can be tracked,
Okay. But do you ever, so if Bitcoin is just kind of like, it's tracked and it's not private, I personally thought, at least from what I read from the original documents that the Satoshi guy put out, that it was supposed to be kind of an anonymous, decentralized currency, but it seems like now it's a non-anonymous, I guess you could call it decentralized, but it's tracked. So how is it much different than a CBDC at this point?
Well, it would be different because the central bank digital currency theoretically would be controlled from a central authority. Like the central bank could make the rules, and no one person can make the rules for Bitcoin. So nobody can say, oh, you can only spend Bitcoin, or you can only use this much, or it expires, or it has negative interest rates, or that's the difference. Is Bitcoin is decentralized. Central bank digital currencies would be centralized. So,
gotcha. And then would you have to? How long is basically? Do you have to use a key phrase every time you want to make a transaction?
No, when you install the wallet, you you put in your key phrase, and then if you have an existing wallet, then every time you reinstall it or something, you put in a key phrase, and then after that you use a password. But if you ever needed to reinstall it and get full access, you could do it with the seed words.
Okay, and then do you have a wallet on like your desktop, or do you have one of those like Trezors or those private wallets?
I use multiple different things, but I think mobile wallets are pretty good. Like you can
like
use
on your phone.
Yeah. Like the Coinbase has a wallet that's pretty good. I use Exodus.
How secure is that stuff though?
It's
and isn't Coin? Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, it's as secure, like it can't be hacked. But if somebody got your seed words, then it could be, or if somebody mugged you and made you, use your phone, or then it's not secure. But nobody can hack it basically without having your seed words. So
here's what I'm getting at. So I know Coinbase has banned people from their service based on their political beliefs. So what I'm trying to get to is that it seems like a lot of the ways most people use cryptocurrency kind of defeats the purpose of it in the first place. And I think it would be really useful for the crypto community to be able to come up with the kind of explain like I'm 5 or how to use this stuff for dummies. So you're getting the most out of it in the simplest way possible, because as we've seen, having your coins on exchanges isn't good, but then I've never heard anyone seriously critically analyze the flaws of, say, having your cryptocurrency on your desktop in a wallet versus having it on like a separate wallet, like a Trezor. I forget all the different ones that are called.
There's Trezor. There's what do I have one too. I just don't use it. Is a Ledger.
Is it inconvenient to use, or why don't you use it?
I find it to be kind of inconvenient.
Would that be the safest way to store it though?
Theoretically.
Would you be able to like access your Bitcoin if you have a wallet on your computer and your computer goes tits up? Can you access your wallet still?
Yeah, as long as you have your seed phrase, then you can just install it on another computer.
Okay.
Or if it allows for mobile, like there's Exodus wallet, which runs on computer and your phone, so you can have it in both places at once.
Exodus wallet.
Mm-hmm.
You said it runs what? Sorry.
It can run. It has an app for your computer and for your phone, so you can have both. So.
And I don't mean this in any kind of like gotcha way, but do you see any kind of backdoor issues where people are installing all this stuff on their desktop and phones? And I mean, how sophisticated is like your average person compared to, say, government agencies? And is there any way that intelligence agencies or government agencies can use the kind of connectivity of like your desktop and your phone to eventually access these wallets at some point?
Yeah, I mean, if somebody took control of your computer, I mean, those are the things with a mobile wallet or with a computer. I mean, any wallet has the same risk as far as like if you don't have your if you lose control of your seed words and somebody gets them, then you're screwed. And it doesn't matter if it's a ledger or anything else. That's a security risk on every wallet if you're going to store it yourself. Then beyond that, there's security risk of somebody taking over your computer and getting access to it if you don't have it. And then you can still have it password protected on your computer or not. So there's that. And then with your phone, there's the security risk of somebody accessing your phone or holding you up at gunpoint, making you transfer cryptocurrency off your phone or something like that.
What do you think about the crypto billionaires that died not too long ago?
Which one? The one that
there was
in the
I don't remember their names, but there was 3 that died relatively recently within the last few months.
Oh, really? Oh, I remember the guy that died in the Caribbean that was around the FTX time. But then I don't know who else.
There was another 1 or 2 guys who died as well.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean,
and then there was some guy, some Asian guy, I forget his name, but who was arrested last year. I think his last name was like Zhang, and he was arrested with like hundreds of Bitcoins, and like the feds got him. Are you familiar with that case?
I don't think so. What's the name?
Just look up like Bitcoin seized. There was one guy who was captured in 2013. His name was Matthew Olbricht, I believe.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
then there was a guy last year. I think his name was like James Zhang or something similar. That guy was an Asian guy, and he got caught with like billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin, and the feds got him. And why I'm interested in that is because, these people were heavily involved with it, and, they're going to be way more sophisticated than your average user. I think, crypto has potential, but realistically, if these types of people are ending up dead or their assets are being seized, with all due respect, I have questions about the kind of security of all of this stuff in the long run.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fair. I mean, it's, you got to be concerned about security no matter what. So whether it's your precious metals that you have stored somewhere.
Yeah, I'm not into any of that. I'm not like a gold bug or into the dollar. I'm always trying to look for the best stuff. So I ask all this in good faith.
Yeah, no, there are, people don't consider security risks. A lot of people lose their crypto. A lot of people aren't qualified to keep their seed word safe. I mean, people lose access all the time. People get scammed. Somebody tried to scam me from saying they were calling from Coinbase. And
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it was like targeted, I believe. They sent me an
Really?
email. Yeah, they sent me an email, and then they started blowing up my cell phone, saying there was like, oh, somebody had tried to make a withdrawal and they just needed me to follow this link. So I mean, there's risk.
What was their accent?
Oh, it was like a white guy.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty sophisticated. The guy was like, it was pretty sophisticated. They must have known I had a certain amount in there because, and I know somebody else people do get targeted for their Coinbase accounts with phishing, pretty sophisticated phishing schemes. So you definitely have to be careful.
Cool. Well, I appreciate your honesty, and
all right.
Yeah, well, I hope that somebody, if it's not you, I really think it would be useful if somebody kind of broke this stuff down for your person who has reasonable intelligence but doesn't know all the terminology.
Sure.
And teaching them how to buy it, because if more people get into buying it, it's going to drive the price up too.
Yeah, I've done videos about it in the past, so I've promoted crypto a lot in the past. I've done videos about the easiest way to buy it and stuff, but I can do more of that if there's demand for it. So
I think just something that's really straightforward, or kind of like a compilation of your best kind of speeches on it, that's as concise as possible, will be really helpful. And also, if it's really good, it could also go viral and get you a lot more views. So
okay, cool. Thanks for that.
All right, have a good one, Digger.
All right. Oh, that was weird. That was a really long call. That wasn't crazy. And he's the N-word. That was the N-word caller. Or was that not the N-word caller? Oh, weird. Well, I want to say the call was still a good call, even though it ended on a sour note. How unfortunate. Yeah, people are interested. Yeah, and I can still help out. If you need help with cryptocurrency, just contact me on Twitter or email me. I have a calendar even. I did crypto consultations before, and I can help out if you really need it. If you want to get into crypto and stuff, just contact me and we can set something up. I've done it before. I used to do that. So, and crypto could get hot again. So it's a valuable thing to know about, probably. We'll see. Could be just getting started. We'll see. All right. I think that might be it. You can still call in if you want, 650-429-8294. Wonder what the odds are for the presidential race. You guys, DeSantis is a little bit ahead. Somebody was asking, what's the deal with DeSantis and Trump supporters fighting each other? Yeah, I know. Oh, we'll see how it goes. Tomorrow might be the big day, might be the arrest. Maybe I'll cover it live. Maybe I'll cover it. See what happens in the morning. All right, maybe we'll wrap it up. All right, thanks. A few more people did give me coffees. Thank you for saving it. Basil Vinsire, thank you, who said, please pre-order more Truth Matters shirts. Okay, we'll think about it. You might have collector's items. Keep them in good shape. Thanks, Mimsy Cat, for the coffee. Appreciate that. Thanks, guys. Yeah, thank you very much. Just a few coffees make a difference for sure. Thank you for that. Yeah, I've been driving a bunch for DoorDash. Doesn't pay that great, but I've been trying to make money. And you just never know. You just never know with how things are going to go on the internet. That's all. But probably if everybody gets fired, then everybody's going to want to drive for DoorDash. Then it's not going to be very profitable, probably. So I got to get the dollars in now. Get Bitcoin, save myself. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Good to see everybody. Appreciate the coffees a lot. Appreciate the tip over on Rockfin. And we'll see you at the next one. All right, for now. That's what it is.